And what happens when the clinic says, we can reduce your child's risk of being socially awkward by 30%, or increase their likelihood of becoming a CEO? Will you say no? It removes mystery. The unexpected, the wild card, the child who defies odds, the artist born into a family of accountants, the empath raised by cynics, the dyslexic who becomes a revolutionary thinker, the outlier who becomes the change. When you optimize for what's predictable, you lose the unpredictable. When you select for intelligence, you may lose warmth. When you prioritize performance, you may lose passion. We start building specialists instead of souls, their tendencies, propensities, suggestions. And yet, by trying to curate the perfect child, we risk sterilizing the very thing that makes humans human, the sacred element of surprise. Once society begins selecting embryos based on optimization, a new norm emerges. Perfection becomes expectation. If the technology exists to reduce risk, why wouldn't you use it? If you don't, are you a negligent parent? Will your child be at a disadvantage if others were optimized and they weren't? This creates a slippery slope where genetic enhancement becomes not just optional, but morally pressured. First, you select against disease, then for intelligence, then for height, then emotional regulation, then social agreeability, then attractiveness, then charisma. And what happens when the clinic says, we can reduce your child's risk of being socially awkward by 30%, or increase their likelihood of becoming a CEO? Will you say no? We are turning embryos into products, scored for traits, ranked for value. It continues for life, because when you were chosen for perfection, you are no longer free to be flawed. What are we becoming? Now it sees, now it selects, now it edits. But what are we selecting for? If we prioritize intelligence over empathy, what kind of society do we build? If we value conformity over creativity, what happens to revolution? If we select out anxiety, do we also remove sensitivity? We don't yet fully understand how traits interact, but we are editing anyway. Because we can. And that's the defining feature of this moment. Our power is outpacing our wisdom. We are evolving, not by what the world demands, but by what our biases desire. And those biases, cultural, racial, aesthetic, are shaping the next generation of humanity. We are editing toward a fantasy, not a future, toward a curated ideal, not a tested one.